Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and holy hell, mother of God, the top 500 system is now live on Overwatch. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, what the hell is the top 500 system? Let me quickly break this down for you. What this is the top 500 players across each platform and each region. Now, what I mean by that is each region and each platform, so like the consoles in NA and the consoles in EU, they have their own top 500 leaderboards. Exactly the same for the PC in NA, the PC in EU, or the Asian PC players. They've all got their own breakdown of the top 500. So we don't have one massive unified top 500 leaderboard. So in theory, it's actually a little bit easier to get into the top 500 because you're only having to play against the millions of players in your region. I know that sounds ludicrous, and it kind of is, right? But let me just break down what Blizzard say about this, because there are some little details that I want to get out there before I go into my my little discussion piece about this, because it'll be pretty good. So every season, the leaderboards will be reset, including the top 500. Once this happens, previous performance records will have no effect on rank, so players will have to work their way back to the top 500. At the end of each season, anyone who's made it into the official top 500 will receive an animated spray. We understand that player ranks will be shuffled throughout the season, so we're not asking players to hold the top 500 spot for any length of time. What that means is, once you get into the top 500, you get all the rewards that the top 500 players would get. So you get a little avatar, you get a new spray, which is animated. We don't actually know what that is just yet, but there is the animated spray for taking part in Season 1, which is the Ilios animated spray, which you can see within the game client. I'll put that on the screen now so you can see it. That type of thing, so it'll probably be a variation on that, probably some sort of golden thing, I don't know, somewhat ridiculous, but that'll be nice, right? But what I've got to stress is you don't actually get any benefit for being in the top 500. It is literally just bragging rights. It is, I am in the top 500, or I have been in the top 500 players this season in the world, in my region, on my platform. Now, I think the PC platform is by far the biggest, so when I look at the breakdown between what ranks are required for PC and console, I think it is a little bit lower for console just because there's less of a community over there. But I want to talk about PC, because what you can see on the screen right now is somebody who is a rank within the top 500. They are rank 476 in the world, and this is taken from EU, and they are current skill rating 77. So I think we can sort of deduce from that if you are in the EU, and I think the NA as well is extremely similar to this, the Asia region might be a little bit lower in terms of required level, might be 75, although let's just say for argument's sake they're all 77 across all of the PC regions. You need to get 77, right? 76 probably won't be enough, because if this player is 476 in the world and he's ranked 77, well, in the EU that is, then I don't think 76 would do it. That'll probably take you down too low. But this is an interesting thing now, because this means there is a goal, right? If you can get to rank 77, which I know is an extremely difficult task. I mean, I'm rank 70 at the moment. I'm one victory off rank 71. I'm hoping I can do that, but the game is so much more difficult at that level because everybody is a really good player and they know what they're doing. So it is very difficult to beat enemy teams, especially you know, when you're on the defense. Trying to stop teams attacking is very difficult. But yeah, it is ridiculous. So what I think we're looking at is if you are ranked 77 or above in any of the regions on PC, you will be in the top 500. Now, I want you to tell me if you're actually in the top 500. This has now become a goal of mine to achieve. I've got to be honest, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but I don't like to think negatively. I like to think positively, and I like to think that, yeah, if I apply myself, I can possibly get to this kind of skill rating. Now, it's going to be difficult, right? Like I just said, it is very difficult to play at this level. You are getting even matches almost all of the time. I know it's much different once you get into the 70s and the high 60s compared to lower ranks like in the 50s and stuff, because everybody at these levels, like the level that I've been playing at, they do use their microphone. They want to communicate. They will swap heroes to counter the enemy team. There are tactics that we're using. You know, like I was playing with a Zenyatta, and every time Genji would drop his ultimate on us, Zenyatta would pop his ulti and just completely negate him. That is, you know, it's simple, but that's like a higher level approach to the game. It's being more like aware of what's going on in the game, which is what I want to talk about now in terms of the top 500 players, or even just players that are over rank 70 most likely. These are players that have almost a complete package, right? They're good at FPS games. Their reactions are good. They're very aware of what's going on around them. But crucially, they understand Overwatch. They understand how the heroes work. They also understand how the maps work and basic strategies for attack and defense on every single map. Now, there is a lot of confusion with this kind of stuff which goes around. Like, I've seen players who are way better than me at the game. Like, mechanically, they just destroy me. Yet, they're not better than me at the game because they don't actually apply knowledge of the game to the game, right? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, right? Overwatch is an FPS game that doesn't just completely rely on being a super reaction shooter. You have to be tactical. It is a team game. You know, if you're the most accurate McCree in the world, but Reinhardt's got his shield deployed in your face, well, you're not going to do anything to him. And, well, it doesn't really matter. He's just going to stand there like, yeah, okay. And then you're ineffective. You don't do anything. Now, I think it's ridiculous. Like, what do I think in terms of them introducing this ranked system? That does highlight the top 500 players. I think it's great. I think we're going to see trickle down as well. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see these kind of, like, you get the special golden avatar, right? You get the special golden ranked icon when you become top 500. Well, I think, like, what about top 1,000 or top 5,000? Maybe they're going to start introducing badges for that, because I know Blizzard have got a problem just showing you the skill rating as the sole thing which shows off your skill. Because I spoke about this before. Like, if you've got a rank of, like, 55... well, I think it was, yeah, if you've got a rank of 60, then you think to yourself, well, that's not too great. But actually, that's really fucking good. That is a really high rank. But the game doesn't show you that. So if you like had a skill rating and it was 60, and it did say that, but maybe it was smaller, but then you had like a, I don't know, like a platinum badge or something next to your name, that would be way more rewarding. You would feel much more sort of accomplished, right? You feel like, it's kind of like the StarCraft 2 thing, right? Where you're in the different leagues. So if you guys don't understand how StarCraft 2 works, you'd have like... Bronze League. I always used to call it copper, but it's not copper. It's bronze, silver, like gold, platinum, diamond, masters, and grandmasters. And grandmasters was obviously like the top 500 for what Overwatch has got. So they've almost like introduced the grandmaster division, but they haven't introduced the other divisions. Now they kind of did have these things in the game when the first iteration of the competitive came out in the closed beta, which was kind of interesting, but they didn't show the skill rating as such, which I like the skill rating to be shown because it does show you where you are compared to other players, but it's not very fun to look at, is it? Especially when, like, if you guys are ranked like 55, 57, 58, 59, 60, that is a really, really good rank. I mean, 55 is so far ahead of rank 50. It's not even like, you can't even believe it. Like, it is such a more advanced rank, which, you know, it really needs to be displayed a bit better in the game. Well, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this. In fact, I will touch on a little bit of information, which I don't think many people have been picking up on. I don't think this starts immediately when the season starts. So when you've done your placement games, and if you're like, say you come out at skill rating 79, which would be extremely good placement games, by the way. If you did that, then you would not get top 500 because they have to activate this. And I think they're going to wait for the ladder to almost settle, right? So it's more of a true reflection as what's going on. Because just giving somebody top 500 based on the performance in 10 games would be a little bit too... like, that wouldn't reflect that player's skill level that well. But then that's a whole other argument, right, guys? How does the Overwatch skill rating system reflect a player's skill level when it is dependent on your team? Because this is not a solo game. If your team players are not that great, which I know a lot of you guys do talk to me about this over Twitter and in the comments on my videos and saying like, I'm a much better player than this, but my teammates are maybe not the best and they're causing me issues. And I think there are loads of people like that. I honestly believe there are tons and tons of people out there who are stuck in this ELO hell where they are better players, but they're getting dragged down by their team. What I want to say to you guys before I end this video is try not to be toxic, right? Just think, okay, I'm at this level, I'm going to get out of this level because I'm a better player, and I will just play through this, because you've got to keep positive. You don't want to sit there, and you don't want to start getting toxic because you will lose the game. And then you could drop even further in ranks, which could potentially make the issue much, much, much worse. And you know, you don't want that. You really, really don't want that. Also, as well, I just want to touch on the idea of it being a team-based game, so it's difficult to kind of rate your skill. What I would really like to see in the future is a team competitive mode, so you can register a team, maybe like a clan, and like maybe you've got some substitute players, like maybe you get to register 10 players or 12 players or something, so you've got enough for a full substitute team, and then you play, and then that team is rated. That would be a much better reflection on the player's ability because you're playing in a team with other people. I think that would be fantastic because solo queue, I don't think it can ever be too accurate, even when you're playing in a duo or a triple or even when you play with 5, because you never know what the random person's going to do. Anyway, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you are in the top 500, do let me know in the comments below. Link me pictures to this. If you follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, send me some pictures of what your current skill rating is, what platform you're on. I'm very interested in seeing where the console guys are because I don't have much information on what is actually required to be in the top 500 on console. So if you are, do send me a picture. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.